A very good morning to all of you. Now, today we will try to discuss one more commutation technique, and that is the class C commutation. Now, class C commutation is also called as voltage commutation or the complementary commutation or type C commutation. Now, you know that the SCR is a semi-controlled device. You can easily turn on your SCR, but if you want to turn off your SCR, then you will either have to apply the reverse voltage across the SCR, or you will have to make the anode current below the holding current. Only in these two cases you can make your SCR to turn off. Now, the commutation is broadly classified into the natural commutation and the forced commutation. So, in natural commutation, you will be having the AC voltage, whereas in the forced commutation, a DC voltage is there. Now, DC voltage is not having a natural zero, so you will have to create the artificial zero. And artificial zero can be created by using the external commutation circuit, and this commutation circuit comprises of the auxiliary SCR, capacitor and the inductor. Now in case of class C commutation, you can see if you want to turn off this SCR, that is the main SCR, let us say that T1 is our main SCR, and if you want to turn off this T1 which is our main SCR, then you will have to gate this auxiliary SCR. Now similarly, if T2 is on continuously and if you want to make T2 off, then you will have to provide a gate pulse to T1. So this is the complementary commutation. You can see for turning off T1, you will have to provide a gate pulse to T2, and for turning off of T2, you will have to provide a gate pulse to T1. So we'll try to understand this class C commutation in a more detailed fashion. Now you can see here the commutation circuitry also having a capacitor and the resistor. So why this capacitor is inserted in this circuit? You know that capacitor will always hold some voltage, and when you are turning one SCR, that entire voltage will come across your other SCR. It means you are applying a reverse voltage, and that is why the class C commutation is also known as the voltage commutation, because we are turning off the main SCR by applying a reverse voltage. So now we will try to understand this in the open mode. So now this is the circuit for the class C commutation. Now in the class C commutation you can see there is the DC voltage, then you are having a load and T1 and T2. Now this is the main SCR and T2 can be termed as the auxiliary SCR. Now according to the process of the commutation, if you want to turn off your main SCR, then you will have to turn on the auxiliary SCR. So now before analyzing this circuit, so we will try to make some assumption. And the first assumption will be what? That your capacitor voltage is charged to plus VDC value. So VC is charged to plus VDC value, and your capacitor current is flowing from IC is flowing from left to right. So these are our two main assumptions, from left to right. Now what is happening, you can see if you turn on this main SCR. So what is happening? So at one moment of time, your only one SCR will be in the conduction state. So when you are turning on T1, it means you are turning off T2, because you can see here when this T1 is made on, it will be acting as a short circuit. So your positive potential will come here at the bottom, and it will go towards the cathode of your T2. It means that this SCR will be reverse biased. So what we can do at T equal to 0, at T equal to 0, provide a gate pulse. Means what? When SCR T1, that is SCR is on, the SCR1. So what will be your configuration of the circuit? So your configuration will be plus VDC, this will be plus VDC, then you are having RL, then you are making, because you have applied a gate pulse to your T1, so then capacitor will be there, that is plus, and C, this is already charged to VDC, then a resistor will be there. So you are having a RC circuit. So you need to apply the equations which are related to the RC circuit, and this T2 is open. Why it is open? Because it is reverse biased, as you have applied a reverse voltage. Now this one is our assumed current. So now you can see that after turning on T1, so what you will get? So you have got the two current path. So one path is through RL. You can see here you are getting this path, that is RL, and the second path is through R. Now this is your second path. This one is your second path you are getting. So now in the first path you can see you are having only RL, but in the second path you can see the current is flowing through R, then it is charging your capacitor, and again through T1 it is coming. So we can say that the current which is flowing through the transistor T1, it is the combination of this current and this current. So what is this current? It means that so let us say we will name the current now. We will name the current now, because now it is very difficult to identify the current. So for that I am deleting this path. So now here your TT1 is on, so you can see IR1, and this one is your IR2. So we have named the current. So now our interest is to find the current which is flowing through your T1. So for that IT1 will be equals to, now here if you apply a KCL, it means what? This current is entering to the node, and again this current is entering to this node. It means that the current entering the node is equal to the current leaving the node. So IT1 will be equals to IR1 plus IR2. Now this IR2, you can see it is flowing from right to left. It means IR2 is opposite to that of IC. So IT1 can be written as this one is IR1 minus IC of t. Now you can write IR1 as simply as voltage upon current. There is only voltage and the resistor. So this one you can write VDC upon R1 minus IC of t. Now if you want to find the capacitor current, so in that case, you need to first find the capacitor voltage, and after finding the capacitor voltage, you can easily get IC of t will be equal to C into dVc upon dt. So for finding the voltage of capacitor, because you can see here when this current is flowing, it is charging the capacitor in the opposite direction. It means that your capacitor is going from positive to the negative. Fine, because it is charging in the opposite direction, and this plate is getting more positive charges as compared to this plate. So at one point of time, that is in the steady state, what you will get, your capacitor will be charged entirely in the opposite direction, and this plate will become positive and this plate will become negative. Now if you want to write the equation for the capacitor voltage, then what you will write? Vc of t will be equal to, please mark this equation as I have already told you in the RC circuit. Now on this one will be Vc of infinity plus Vc of 0 minus Vc of infinity e to the power of minus t upon tau. Now in this case, tau means what? So tau is the time constant of the circuit, means how much time it will take for the signal to reach to a steady state. So now we have to put Vc of infinity and Vc of 0 in this equation. So Vc of infinity will be equal to what? Now you can see this capacitor is charging in the opposite direction. It is charging, 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 and at one point it will become what? It will become plus here and minus here. So it means you are charging in the opposite direction and it is charging to minus Vs. So this one will be minus Vs. Now similarly, Vc of 0, the initial capacitor voltage was, sorry, this one I think it is VDC. So VDC we will write VDC, and here that is plus VDC. Now if you put all this initial and the final value in the above expression, so what you will get, so minus VDC, that is okay, then inside it is VDC minus or minus, that is twice VDC e to the power of minus t upon tau. Now what is tau in this case? You can see the tau is what, this is VDC, then there is a resistor is there, then a capacitor is there, and T1 is made on. It means the current is flowing through R and C. So tau it will be equals to R into C. Now IC of T will be equals to what? This is the equation number 1. So IC of T will be equal to dVc of T C into dVc of T. So if you solve this expression, so what you will get? Your VDC is common. So 2 into e to the power of minus t upon RC. If you simplify this expression and now you put here, so C into d of t, VDC into twice e to the power of minus t upon RC minus 1, and this will be your IC of t. So now IC of t will be equal to what? So now here what you can say that this VDC is common, so VDC will come out. So VDC, that is C into VDC, will come out. This 2 is also a constant value, and if you take the differentiation of it, so it will be e to the power of minus t upon RC, and this minus 1 upon RC will come out. So what will be your value? It will be, suppose if you rearrange these terms, so minus 2 VDC into C. Now you can see C and C will get cancelled out. So this will be minus twice into VDC upon R e to the power of minus T upon RC. So this is the expression of IC of T. So now IT1 will be equals to, from equation number 1. From where you have got this equation? So this is the equation number 1. So IT1 will be equal to VDC upon R1 VDC upon R1. Now this minus and this minus will get plus, so that will be twice VDC upon R1 e to the power of minus t upon RC. So these are the two equations which you have got. So this is the IT1. Now this expression is very important according to the gate point of view. So now this is the current which is flowing through your thyristor T1. So when you apply a gate pulse to T1, and you know that when you are applying a gate pulse to T1, it means you are turning off your T2. So now you want to calculate, we want to calculate a circuit turn off time. Now how to calculate a circuit turn off time? Now for calculating a circuit turn-off time, it means first you will have to understand the definition of it. Now the circuit turn-off time is a time for which your thyristor will be in the reverse bias condition. Now you can see here, in this case what is happening, your thyristor T2 will be in the reverse biased. So we will try to calculate the circuit turn-off time for the thyristor T2. So for that we will remove all this equation. Now these two equations are very much important. Now we will try to find the circuit turn off time, and for finding the circuit turn off time you will have to understand the meaning of it. So circuit turn off time, it means for the time for which your SCR is in the reverse bias state, reverse bias condition. Now in this case, which SCR will be in the reverse bias? Because you see you have made a T1 as on, so the entire voltage will be coming across your T2, so it means T2 will be in the reverse bias state. So it means that this voltage is coming across this voltage is coming across your T2. So this one is your T2, and initially it was VDC. But what is happening when you are turning on T1, your IR2 current is flowing, and it means that the voltage across T2 will be like this. You can see here, initially it was negative. Initially it was negative. And what is happening? Your IR2 current will be charging this capacitor in the opposite direction. So this negative is going towards a positive, because the final state of this capacitor voltage is plus VDC. Fine. It means that this capacitor has to travel from minus VDC to plus VDC, and it is going on. So this will be going towards a zero. Now this is the reverse bias part, and after that this will be moving in the positive direction. So this means that is the plus. So you can see the polarities are now changing. So now your upper one will be moving towards a positive value, and your lower one will be moving towards a negative value. So now you can see when this voltage has crossed the zero value, it is going in the forward bias condition. So you can see that your this much part is only important. So what is this part? So when your capacitor voltage is increasing from minus VDC to zero, then you will get your circuit turn off time. So this is the equation. Now just now we have calculated Vc of t. So Vc of t will be equal to what? VDC into twice e to the power of minus t upon Rc minus 1. Now you can see here the capacitor voltage will be having a zero value at this moment. Fine. So you can see if you take when t will be equal to Tc2, circuit turn off time for the circuit turn off time for the T2, that is T will be equal to Tc2, when T will be equal to Tc2, and what is happening? Vc of T will be equal to 0. You can see here when your T will be equal to Tc2. Now Tc2 means what? That is the circuit turn off time. So now you put this value here. So 0 will be equals to VDC, and you will have to replace T by Tc2, because we are interested to find the circuit turn off time of your T2. Fine. So minus Rc minus 1. Now if you solve this expression, so what you will get? Tc2 will be equal to Rc. Now this is natural log of T. So in this way you can find a circuit turn off time for your thyristor T2, that is SCR T2. So now if you want to make your T1 as off, then you will have to do what? You will have to just provide a gate pulse to T2, and in this way you can make your SCR T1 as off. So this is the complementary commutation. It means that if you want to turn off this, then you will have to apply a gate pulse to T2. If you want to turn off T2, then you will have to apply the gate pulse to T1. So now we will try to understand the waveforms related to the class C commutation. Now you can see that initially the capacitor voltage was charged to this plus VDC. So plus will be at the right hand plate of the capacitor, and minus will be at the left hand plate of the capacitor. So now you can see that if you apply the gate pulse to T1, so instantly this voltage will be coming across your T2. Fine. It means that instantly the voltage across T2 is becoming a negative, and then it will rise in the positive direction. So that voltage will be coming to the zero first, and then it will increase in the positive direction. Fine. So at t equal to 0, we are providing a gate pulse. So when you are providing a gate pulse to T1, it means your T1 will be acting as a short circuit. So when T1 will be acting as a short circuit, so what is happening? This voltage will be coming across your T2. So now you can see that your T2 is off. Now the current which is flowing through T1, it is the combination of this current and this current. So this is the load current. Now this current is almost constant. So you will get the constant plus the exponential. Now why you are getting the exponential? Because the capacitor is charging, because the current which is flowing through the this T1 is through R and C. Now this R and C will be having the exponential, and that will be having a time constant. So there will be some exponential curve, and then you are having the load current. Fine. So now when your T1 is conducting, it means it will be acting as a short circuit, and the voltage across T1 is nearly equal to 0. Now suddenly, now at this point, you are applying a gate pulse to T2. So when you are applying a gate pulse, it means this plus will come here and this negative will come here. It means instantly at that moment you are applying a negative voltage. So this will instantly shoot up in the reverse direction, and then you can see here your capacitor is charging. It means now it is increasing. Now it is first moving towards 0, and then it is increasing in the positive direction. So these are the waveforms for the class C commutation. So in this way you can have done the analysis of the class C commutation. Then we have seen some equation, the circuit turn off time, and now the waveforms for the class C commutation. So this is all about the class C commutation. So now in the next video we will try to understand the class D commutation. So till that time, I'll take your leave.